Here's everything you need to know about the latest restrictions to the traditional Latin Mass. First of all, the Pope has revised Traditionis Custodes. He has taken away the ability of the bishops to dispense their priests and pastors from the requirements of Traditionis Custodes. What does this really mean? Well, to date, any bishop who has allowed the traditional Latin Mass in his parishes, whether those priests were diocesan priests or priests of so-called Ecclesia Dei groups like the Fraternity of St. Peter, he now has to send those cases to Rome for review. So reading between the lines, what this means is a bishop who is favorable may implore Rome for a continued dispensation. Hopefully that would be given. But a bishop who is maybe really actually opposed to the old Latin Mass can effectively ask Rome to shut it down. That gives him the ability to kind of push off on Rome the consequences of it rather than just denying those permissions himself. Now, some people are saying, well, the bishops can just ignore this. Well, no, they can't. I mean, it's the Pope saying that this is how he now wants Traditionis Custodes to be interpreted. Of course, a bishop theoretically could ignore it, but he could also be removed by the Holy Father. I wouldn't expect much of that to happen. Now, whether you're going to a traditional Latin Mass at a diocesan parish or one of those Ecclesia Dei groups, like the Fraternity of St. Peter, the Institute of Christ the King, Sovereign Priest, or a personal parish kind of thing, it's now up for review. Now, this also affects the ability of any of the priests who were ordained after Traditionis Custodes to offer the Mass, even if they were just doing so privately. Now, this is actually kind of a brilliant strategy because instead of there being this one singular global suppression of the Mass, like we thought was coming in March, now what's happening is it's just going to be a slow, quiet trickle of suppressions because everything's going to happen behind the scenes between the bishop and Cardinal Roche of the Dicastery for divine worship. This also probably means that apostolic constitution that we were expecting on Monday of Holy Week, that's probably not going to happen. I think they realized there would have been a lot of pushback. So what are we left with? Well, fast and pray. In fact, I'd like to recommend the 30-day novena to St. Joseph that is on my website that is attached to a lot of miracles, including in my own life. That would be a great one for people in your diocese to pray together during Lent. Now, finally, of course, you can also write your bishop and thank him for having allowed the Mass to persist, encourage him to implore the Holy Father for its continued use. Have a good Ash Wednesday, and God bless you.